All right, let's talk about one of the most stressful parts of getting a job, the interview. We're going to crack the code on how to talk about yourself so you can walk into that room with some serious confidence. You know the moment the interviewer looks at you and drops this classic question, and suddenly your mind is just blank. You know you're good at what you do, but finding the right words, words that actually make an impact, it's tough, but it's also your biggest chance to shine. And this is your new secret weapon. This guide is just packed with the kind of powerful, professional words that hiring managers are dying to hear. But we're not just going to read a list. No way. We're going to turn this into a framework you can use to tell your own professional story. Okay, so let's get into it. Instead of trying to memorize a bunch of random adjectives, we're going to group these words into 4 key themes. It's a structure that will help you paint a really full and, frankly, impressive picture of who you are at work. First up is what I like to call the foundation. These words are all about your character. You can think of them as the absolute, non-negotiable bedrock of any great employee. We're talking about trust, about integrity, the stuff that really matters. So we're going to zoom in on these 4 right here. Think of them like the pillars holding up your professional reputation. When an employer hears these, they're not just hearing nice words, they're hearing that you are a stable, trustworthy person they can bet on. Let's start with reliable. And look, this is way more than just showing up on time. Being reliable means your boss can hand you something important and then just stop worrying about it. You're the one who gives them peace of mind because they know you'll get it done, period. Now, accountable is super interesting because it's not just about celebrating your wins. It's about owning all of your outcomes, even when things go wrong. It shows a level of maturity and a desire to learn that is just incredibly valuable to any team. And these two kind of feel like 2 sides of the same coin, right? Being ethical means you're a low-risk hire who people can trust. Being resilient means you can handle the pressure when things inevitably get tough. One builds trust, and the other proves you can deliver on that trust. All right, let's move on to our next section, the engine. So if your character is the foundation, these next skills are what actually drive you forward. This is all about your work ethic, how you get things done. Here we're looking at 4 words that basically describe a high-performance machine. An employer isn't just asking, can you do the work? They're really asking, are you going to drive results? Are you going to move this company forward? And these words answer that with a big yes. You know, being proactive is basically a manager's dream. It means you don't just sit around waiting for someone to tell you what to do. You spot problems before they happen, you see opportunities, and you jump on them. You're not just warming a chair, you're pushing the whole team forward. Oh, I love this comparison because it gets at such a key difference. Being deadline-driven is about the when. You hit your dates. That's crucial. But being efficient, that's about the how. It's about finding the smartest, fastest path to get there without wasting time or resources. The best people, they're both. Okay, next up, the strategist. This section is all about how you think. It's not enough to just do the work. Employers want to see that you understand the why behind it, that you can solve tricky problems and see the bigger picture. These 4 traits right here, they tell an employer that you bring more than just hustle, you bring brain power. This is the difference between just being a pair of hands and being a mind that can actually shape the direction of the work. This is such an important distinction. Being analytical is about the what. You can take a bunch of data and make sense of it. But being a critical thinker is about the so what. You look at that data and decide what it actually means and what you should do about it. You gotta have both. And you can see how this all connects. A problem solver deals with what's right in front of them. They put out the fires. But someone who's strategic is thinking way down the road. They're not just fixing today's problem, they're planning how to win tomorrow's game. And that brings us to our final and absolutely critical section, the connector. Because let's be real, great work almost never happens in a vacuum. These skills are your impact multiplier. They're how you make everyone around you better too. So we're going to focus on 4 qualities that show you're not just a coworker, you're a catalyst. You're a true team player, you're communicative, you're diplomatic when things get tense, and you're leadership-minded, even if you're not the boss. Being a team player is, table stakes, but it's more than just being nice. It means you actually put the team's goals first. And that ties right into being leadership-minded. You don't need a fancy title to lead. It just means you take ownership and help guide people toward a shared goal. And being communicative, that's a total 2-way street. It's about speaking your mind clearly, for sure, but it's also about really listening to what other people are saying. That's especially true when you have to be diplomatic, which is really just being a great communicator when the pressure is on. So we've covered a lot of ground, the 4 key areas of what makes a great hire. Now, for the most important part, how do you actually use all this? Let's build your interview toolkit. When you look at it this way, it's pretty clear. The best candidates are well-rounded. They've got that solid character, a strong engine to get stuff done, a strategic mind, and the skills to connect with others. You don't have to be perfect at all 24, but showing you're strong across these 4 areas, that's the goal. So here's your game plan. Super simple. Step 1, identify. Pick 3 to 5 of these words that are authentically you. Step 2, and this is everything, illustrate. For each word, have a real story from your past ready to go. Don't just say you're a problem solver. Tell them about a problem you actually solved. And finally, articulate. Practice saying it out loud until it feels totally natural. So remember, the goal isn't to just list off adjectives. It's to tell a story. Use this framework to build a narrative about yourself that feels real, powerful, and complete. So as you get ready, I'll leave you with this question. What's the one word you're going to use to define your value in that next interview?